Hey everyone, welcome back to another video, and in today's video we have this 2023 Acura MDX and we're going to do the rear chrome delete installation for this vehicle. So as you can see, this is how it looks before doing the installation on the rear panel. It's just your regular chrome panel, and this is how it looks after the installation. So we use the gloss black material, that way it gives the panel and the whole vehicle a more sportier look. If you like the product, link for the product will be linked below. But with that being said, let's get started with the installation video. So before we start with the installation, we need to prep the panel. So in order to prep it, all you need is water and baby shampoo mixed together inside your spray bottle. Once you have your solution, spray it onto a clean microfiber towel and make sure to remove any contaminants that the panel may have. And with this one, we're going to need the trunk open in order to access the inside of the chrome panel. So make sure you clean the inside as well. So once you finish prepping the panel, now we can start with the installation. So with this one, it's just going to be a two-piece installation to cover the whole panel here. But I'm only going to show you guys how to do it on one end, and then the same steps that are done on one side, you will repeat it to the other side. So with this one, align it right where the body line is located, right in the middle. You're going to notice a design in the cutout on the bumper. That's where you'll start. So start roughly around there and make sure you're covering the top section of the panel, and lift it and follow along and just place the film onto the panel and make sure that you're covering the chrome underneath here. And like I mentioned, you have enough material to cover on top as well. So once you place the film, grab your squeegee, start from one end and tack down and secure each section as you go. And as you're going, make sure to remove any air bubbles that are underneath the film. So once you finish tacking down the whole film, now you're just left with this section here. With this one, let's lift the film carefully. You only need enough material to cover up to the edge here. So make sure to cover up to the edge, and we're going to apply heat. That way the film starts tacking down to the edge of the panel here. And then once it tacks down and molds to the curve, then we're going to trim off the extra material. So apply heat to help the film start tacking down to the edge. Now, as you can see, now it's tacking down more better to the edge. And then just start applying heat all over the rest of the film. That way the film starts tacking down to each section, and then we'll trim off the excess material afterwards. Okay, so to trim off the excess material on this one, all you need to do is cut it where this section starts. That way you have enough coverage to cover the edge here. So where you see the beginning part of this section of the panel, that's where you would insert your blade next to it and carefully trim off the extra material. Just like that. And then lift it and then do the same for this top section here. You only need a little bit of your blade out. That way you have more control, and just trim. Just like that. And then remove it. And that should be good. And now you would just trim off the extra material on the top section here. There's a small gap where you could insert the blade, so like right here. And then you would just trim as you go. Okay, so now we're moving on to this piece here. So with this one, just align it right on the edge here. Make sure you give yourself enough material to cover the chrome, and just place the film and follow the design as you go. And with this one, just follow it underneath the panel to cover the lower section. And you will have a little bit of excess material here on the edge. That material will get trimmed off after we apply heat, but first we need to secure the whole panel. So grab your squeegee, start tacking down the whole film. Make sure to remove any air bubbles underneath the film and just tack everything down. Once this is all tacked down, finish off with the rest of the film here. Tack everything down, make sure everything's covered. If you need to lift it to readjust it, you can, but it should be fine like this. Okay, so once you finish tagging everything, apply heat just to help the adhesive on the film activate faster, and also helping it tack down around the edges here. And this section of the film is going to go wrapped on top to cover the chrome piece where the reflector is located. Once you finish applying heat, you will grab your blade, and there is a small gap in between the fender and the actual panel. When you find that gap, insert the blade carefully, so roughly around there. So once you've inserted the blade right in the gap, just carefully take your time trimming off the excess material. And if you need to stop to double check and see if you're doing good, you can. Just make sure to remove the film. And you can also trim it on the edge here. Just be very careful. Just like that. So it's perfectly cut. So just finish off with this section here. And just finish off with the rest of the trim. And don't forget to trim off this piece, and then once you're done, we move on to the last piece here. And then apply heat. Okay, so with this one, you can start off by aligning it where we left off here on the top section. Just make sure, if you do align it here, to make sure to cover everything else. You are going to have excess material on the edge, like how we had it for these two, but you could just trim it off easily right in the center here. So just make sure as long as you have coverage, it should be fine. Lift it carefully and just align it to the design of the panel. Just like that. On this section, you may need to use heat since the panel does have a curve. So first slowly tack it down, but if you still see it lifting, then apply heat. So secure the top, make sure to remove any air bubbles underneath the film. And then, like I mentioned, if you need heat, apply heat just a little bit and help it tack back down. And with this one, you could tuck in the film underneath the reflector to have full coverage. If you have a little bit of excess material, you can lift it and fold it and then tuck it underneath, just like that. Just be careful not to crease the film. And just like that, just apply heat to seal the sides and the lower section. And apply heat on the edge, that way the film starts tacking down to the curve, and then we'll trim off the excess material afterwards. Okay, should be good. Trim off excess material and we're done. So trim it off roughly around the center, more closer to the side of this panel. Insert the blade and trim it off carefully. Don't forget to apply heat since the film is still lifting after we trim to tack it back down, and then we should be good. So once you finish with the whole installation for both sides, the last thing to do, post heat the entire panel. That way we help the adhesive on the film activate faster, and we're also helping any film that's still lifting around the edges tack back down. And just make sure you go all over each panel, apply heat to help the adhesive activate faster. And then once you're done with this step, you're done with the installation. So just make sure, take your time, go section by section applying heat. Thank you for choosing Bogar Tech Design. As a small business, your support means everything to us. If you loved your product, please drop a review. If you have questions or issues, don't forget to message us via email. Once again, thank you so much for the support from our family to yours. So that concludes the installation video for the rear chrome delete installation for the 2023 Acura MDX. We hope that this video helped you guys out with the installation. If it did, don't forget to drop a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe and turn on that notification bell. That way you're not missing any of our upcoming installation videos. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.